This is Border Crossings. I'm Larry London, and today my guest is Jessica Hernandez and the Deltas. From Detroit, Michigan, Jessica grew up listening to Motown music and the R&B style of some of the greats influencing her direction. From a Mexican-Cuban heritage, Jessica Hernandez formed the Deltas in 2008, and she named the group after one of the members' cars. Jessica released her debut studio CD in 2014 called Secret Evil, and she's been on tour ever since to promote the new album. Jessica Hernandez joins us this hour on Border Crossings with several live tracks from her new album. So stay tuned for Jessica Hernandez and the Deltas coming up on VOA TV. Hi, this is Border Crossings. I'm Larry London. We welcome you to another great program. We welcome into our studios a singer and songwriter whose name is Jessica Hernandez. She's on tour right now with the Deltas, and we'd like to welcome her to the Voice of America. Jessica, the Deltas, welcome.
Thanks for having us.
It's great to have you in our studios. And the debut album, your debut album, Secret Evil, now out. Everybody's excited. You're excited. Yep. The fans are excited. Yep. This is a great time to be Jessica Hernandez.
Yeah, I guess it is.
And you guys are on the road performing, and you've been on the road. I think you started this tour a few months ago.
Yeah, it started we did a month in Europe with Social Distortion. Had a few days off, left for another few weeks, came home. It's kind of the cycle this year.
You know, it must be great to have all of these super publications, the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, People Magazine, and MTV, and everybody else saying how wonderful you are. How does that make you feel when you read all this stuff? Everybody's excited about your music, your album?
To be honest, I try not to read that stuff because I think that it's either going to give you a big head or it's going to make you feel bad about yourself. So it's best to just stay focused on what you like to do. And yeah.
How would you describe your music? I mean, because a lot of people like to put bands and artists in a box, a format box, and call it this, that, or the other. What would you describe your music as?
I always tell people it's dark soul. I feel
dark soul.
Yeah. It's definitely soulful music, and it's got this dark aspect to it. Even the happy songs kind of have like a dark lyrical undertone or something. So that's usually what I say. And
we grew up in you and I both in the same area, Detroit, Michigan, which is a very soulful city.
Yeah.
And Motown, of course, is in Detroit. Was Motown influential in your career in shaping your music? Or
yeah, it was a huge influence. My grandparents were, had a huge vinyl collection when I was growing up, so they had tons of Motown, which they've now passed on to me. And yeah, they would always tell me stories about the Temptations and the Supremes and the Four Tops playing at their high school dances in Detroit, because that's when they were just getting started. So they would kind of test the groups out at all the high school dances around the city to kind of see how the kids responded to it. So it's pretty cool.
Well, now you're influencing the kids all around the world, for that matter. You're on tour. Secret Evil is the name of the new album. So if Jessica Hernandez and the Deltas would like to do a song for us, we'd love to hear some music.
Yeah, we'd love to.
So what are you guys going to play?
We're going to play a song called Tired Oak.
All right, Tired Oak. Here they are.
I came into the cold. There was tired oak and hanging from the branches with the lies you sowed for a heart worth gold. Make a wish to bear, leave the dead feelings beside the clothes you wear. You got your soul. It's enough to find love. It's enough to change when your heart's grown old and your mind's gone cold. You've been giving it up. It's the same old story. Got you telling me of the lies you've sold. So your eyes still roll. You've been giving it up. It's the same old story. I stepped out on the road. There were handsome faces, and behind their fears there were the lies you sold for a heart worth gold. Make a wish to bear, leave the dead feelings beside the clothes you wear. You got your soul. It's enough to find love. fight again. And they quote with a wish that I could be changed to something. I would only try to fight again. So they came and they went and they got who they could from nothing. I would only try to fight for something. I would only try to fight again. I would only try to fight for something. I would only fight again. I came into the cold. There was tired oak and hanging from the branches were the lies you sowed for a heart worth gold.
Ooh, sounding great. Jessica Hernandez, The Deltas. Love it. You have a great sounding voice.
Thank you so
really,
much.
really like your sound. It kind of reminds me of Amy Winehouse a little bit.
I get that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, beautiful smile, beautiful voice, and I was looking for that piece of luggage. The airport lost it, so now that's mine.
Yeah.
I want that when you're done. Now, I mean, you're getting creative. You don't do that on stage when you're doing the show.
This
do you?
is like so far from what we do on stage. Yeah. Well, this is like this. I found a thrift store on the road, Goodwill.
Wow.
This is like probably a $20 guitar.
Really?
And then we've got our luggage.
So when you're doing the show on stage, what do people see? What would be different than this?
So Mike's lead guitar player.
Mm-hmm.
I play some guitar, some drums. Taylor's keyboard player, obviously. Stutz is the drummer. He plays an actual drum set.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have trombone player.
Without seashells.
Yeah, no goat's toes. And then we have trombone player and then a bass player. And
Trombone player.
They're going to see the White House right now, I think.
Oh, that's fun. That's a great thing to do when you're in D.C.
Yeah.
But you guys kind of, electric guitar based.
Electric, yeah.
Very loud,
All
rock and
electric,
roll,
rock,
soul,
kinda,
blues,
yep.
rock. That's
Yeah.
great. And tell me about the new album, Secret Evil. Why did you call it Secret Evil?
I felt like I wrote a lot of those songs in the time when I was young. I was in my early 20s, and I was doing a lot of things that I subconsciously felt were secretly evil. And then when I, just some of the lyrical content, and like just songs like Sorry I Stole Your Man, and certain songs that, people were like, why would you write a song about that? And I mean, at the end of the day, it's, for me, songwriting is storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
And, even if you're writing about things that maybe you're not the most proud of or are not the best situations, you still end up writing about them. And sometimes they make the best songs.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought it was kind of a funny play on what I was going through at that point in my life, I guess.
And as a songwriter and a musician, is it hard to write about personal things? Do you find it really hard or painful to relive things in songs that perhaps they stay with you throughout your career and you have to perform them over and over and over on shows that may be difficult to take you back to a certain place?
I actually really love it. I think it's very cathartic. And then I also think, for example, Dead Brains is about a friend of mine who passed away when I was 19. And it was one of my closest friends. And I wrote Dead Brains to be this danceable, happy song that a lot of people don't know is about my friend passing away. And so it's actually the opposite feeling where you see people dancing every night and have like so much joy from this song that I wrote when I was so sad. And it's really this cool thing to kind of see how that can happen. I don't know.
So it's interesting where people get inspiration for songs. I mean, obviously the friend, situation would be an obvious place to find a song.
Right.
But how about less obvious places? When you write about things, where's the strangest thing that ever gave you inspiration for a song?
Honestly, anything. I think, I'm writing a song right now for the next album about a man that we all know from back home who I'm suspicious of his wife being a mail order bride. And so I'm writing a song about that. I mean, there's just sometimes the funniest things can kind of strike up some inspiration. But yeah.
Well, you're a role model for a lot of people. Latino Magazine has written some great things for you too, and it's not often you find a soul, rock, electric performer from that heritage. So you're making a lot of people very proud, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's really cool for me, like just within especially the female Latin community, to be kind of doing this in the United States. I think in Mexico and in South America, there's a lot of female artists that are kind of taking control of the rock scene there. But in the U.S., for some reason, there's not that many women that are Latin American that are doing that.
Right,
so
right. Well, now, you get Selena Gomez and Becky Gomez, Jennifer Lopez. You have a few, but it's, not the profound impact that we should have here, being so multicultural. Have you toured in Latin America?
I've only done a couple shows in Mexico. We did a big festival called Viva Latino, and then a bar show, and that's it. But we're planning on going back soon. So.
And speaking of the tour, you're doing Lollapalooza and you're doing Bonnaroo.
Yep.
So those are some major festivals.
Yes. Yep. We're super excited.
Yeah. I mean, having performed some big shows in some of the smaller venues, do you have a preference, or does it not really matter? Different feeling, I'm sure.
It's just different. I think the festivals are fun because people are there to go crazy. So it's exciting to be kind of playing for a crowd that just has like no inhibition, and they're just like completely letting loose. But then when you play a club gig, you know that the people there have a personal relationship with the record. So people know the words, and people are a little more engaging after the show. And the festival, everyone just wants to party. So they're both fun, but in very different ways.
Have you ever done any crowd surfing? Jumped out into the crowd? You have?
I have, yeah.
Oh, it'd be hard to do in a smaller venue. There's, a couple hundred people. Oh!
No, I've done it a couple hundred.
Have you done there?
It's funny, though, because when people are there, I did it for a record release, and everyone knows us now. It's our hometown show. So everyone was it was like the most graceful crowd surf I've ever. It was just so gently. They took me to the end, then literally turned me around and gently brought me back, and then set me on the stage. And I was like, that did not even feel like crowd surfing.
Very nice. And you're going back home to Detroit. I read your tour is there in July, I think, sometime in July.
Yeah, we're doing a festival right on the water, so that should be
fantastic.
Fun. Yeah.
Well, Jessica Hernandez is in our studios. If you do another song, that'd be great. We'd love to hear some more music from you. What's this one called?
We're going to do a song called Cry, Cry, Cry.
All right.
Sorry, baby, but I should have told you that my heart was heavy, hanging on another man. I tried to let you know, I tried to let him go, but I kept on loving him instead, saying cry, cry, cry. Baby, don't you cry, baby, I won't go too far. I could stay, baby, I would, but I must be going away. Fall apart again and watch the pieces come together when you start. Don't tell me how and when you will put your life together, part by part. You said, now darling, don't you start to worry, 'cause I've got a girl that's waiting back at home for me. You start to let her know that as we start to grow, you just might keep on loving me instead, saying cry, cry, cry. Baby, don't you cry, baby, I won't go too far. I could stay, baby, I would, but I must be going away. Fall apart again and watch the pieces come together when you start. Don't tell me how and when you will put your life together, part by part. Cry, 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 baby, don't you cry, baby, I won't go too far. Cry, 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 baby, don't you cry. Baby, I won't go too far. Oh, cry, cry, cry. Baby, don't you cry. Baby, I won't go too far. Cry, cry, cry. Baby, don't you cry. Baby, I won't go too far.
Jessica Hernandez, The Deltas, and they are here on Border Crossings on VOA TV. And so this album is out now, doing well, but you alluded to another album. You're already writing for the next album.
Yes.
Is it going to be a continuation, or are you going to change the vibe, or what's the plan for album 2?
I don't know. I didn't really go into the first album with having a game plan necessarily. I just, kind of approached it as a singer-songwriter thing. So I think with this next one, it's going to be a little bit different because the Deltas are actually writing with me. And so it's going to be cool to see the contrast of like the first album, which was a singer-songwriter approach, and the second album, which now, we've established a band and a relationship, and it's going to be different just because of that, because of the inclusion of other writers and like kind of it being a group effort. And so kind of having the songs written of all 6 of us together, and then I'm sure there'll also be, some more singer-songwriter songs on that too.
How did you guys connect? How did you come together?
I mean, we all grew up within like 15 minutes of each other, like around the Detroit area, and so mutual friends. The music scene in Detroit is so tiny too that we kind of met. Like I would always see Taylor playing at shows, and then like our drummer Steve, like I would open for his band when I was just doing the acoustic thing. So that's how we kind of met, and I met Mike through friends. It's just the scene is so small, and so when I started wanting to kind of build a band and take it on the road, it was really just kind of being like, okay, well, I know the drummer from this band's really good, and the keyboard player from this band's really good, and me kind of just approaching them and being like, do you want to be a part of this? Do you want to be on the road full time? Is this kind of the lifestyle you want to live? And then,
And what's the significance of the Deltas? Where did that name come from?
It was a placeholder for like at first. It was kind of we needed a band name for one of the first few shows I ever did, and my drummer at the time had a Delta 88 car, and I was like, we'll just say the Deltas because it's your car and whatever. And then it kind of stuck, and then everyone was like, I like it, so we just never.
Could have been the Pintos or the Chevettes.
It could have been anything, yeah. Yep.
Now, has it always been music for Jessica Hernandez? Is this, you knew it early on in school, or?
Yeah, I mean, I've been singing since I was really young. I mean, I can't remember not singing. I was the annoying kid that was standing in front of the TV trying to like perform plays. I don't know what I was doing, but yeah, I was always really, really into music and really into performing. And then it wasn't until college, though. I went to college for fashion design because I thought, well, music is just so unrealistic. It's like such an unrealistic dream. Let me do something more realistic, like being a fashion designer. So it took about a year for me to be like, this is equally as unrealistic. And so when I was 19, I dropped out, and I, bought my first guitar, bought my first keyboard, and just kind of started to teach myself how to write and record and play all at the same time. And then just did the open mics and met these guys. And
wow. And you're having a lot of fun, I'm sure, doing all these shows and these tours. And you were on a major TV show in the United States, Late Night with David Letterman, and he was taken by your music. He responded very, very favorably, which he doesn't usually do, or didn't usually do. He just retired.
Yeah, no, he caught me off guard, actually.
Yeah. Well, that's a good thing.
It was great.
That's a good thing to be on that show and have his attention. But you've got the worldwide attention right now here on The Voice of America. We're thrilled to have you in our studios. So would you do another song for us?
Of course, yeah. We're going to do a song called Dead Brains.
Dead Brains.
for slow. He's gone too, and yes, he's gone blue. I can feel his dead brains in my bones. He's gone dry, no fever, no shots. He's been seeming awful slow. Your brain's gone dead, you feel no power. Where is your head? You ran infectious, run with me now instead. Your brain's gone dead, you feel no power. Where is your head? You ran infectious, run with me now instead. I slept on the ground, my face to the floor. The clouds kept my head from drifting, but I wasn't faced, still glooming my gaze, been moving awful slow. Days gone by, still feeling his blue, stuck with dead brains in my bones. He's gone dry, no fever, no shots. He's been seeming awful slow. Your brain's gone dead, you feel no power. Where is your head? You ran infectious, run with me now instead. Your brain's gone dead, you feel no power. Where is your head? You ran infectious, run with me now instead. Whoa, 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 whoa. Your brain's gone dead, you feel no power. Where is your head? You ran infectious, run with me now instead. Your brain's gone dead, you feel no power. Where is your head? You ran infectious, run with me now instead. La da da da, la da da da, la da da da, la da da
Jessica Hernandez, The Deltas on the Voice of America from the album Secret Evil. Now, you have released a large vinyl version of the album.
yeah.
This is kind of bold. This is kind of different. I mean, it's beautiful, beautiful artwork, beautiful photo. This is, coming back, huh?
Yeah.
The vinyls are coming back.
It is. And I've always been a vinyl collector. My dad's a vinyl collector. Like I said, my grandparents had a big vinyl collection that they passed on. And I think within like our whole circle of friends and like the music scene in general is like really taken off. And we actually just put a 7-inch out as well in the past 2 weeks.
Wow.
So yeah, we're keeping up with the vinyl.
It's kind of like evolution, you know? I mean, there was the vinyls and then the smaller, the 45s came out, and then here we are with CDs, and now the iTunes and the singles you can buy.
Yeah.
And now it was going to be hard to find the players, though.
Right.
For the young kids to find the phonographs.
They're making them again.
They're making them again?
They're making them again.
All right. Well, I'm going to run out and buy myself one.
Yeah.
To catch up with what's going on.
Yeah.
Jessica Hernandez is in our studios, and Secret Evil is the album. If people want to get your new album, where do they need to go? Other than iTunes and Amazon, can they get it from your website?
They can get it from our website, JessicaHernandezandTheDeltas.com.
And I assume you have Facebook pages and
we have
all kinds of...
Facebook is Jessica Hernandez and the Deltas, and then Instagram and Twitter is at Detroit Jess.
All right. And I like your artwork. I mean, is there significance to each different tat you've got? You got matching tats. All right. Uh-huh. What else is on there?
To be honest, most of my tattoos are very funny. A lot of them are with friends. Like this, we got together. This I got with a friend in New York.
No regrets, huh? No 3 a.m.
This I let
late
my
night.
let
Woke
my
up.
boy-
Whoa, what did I do?
Yes, this one. I let
That
my
one?
boyfriend do that.
Oh,
It's a little stick and poke. I've got a dot on my finger for no reason.
for no reason.
That's what happens when your friends have tattoo guns.
Well, that's really cool. It's a pleasure to meet you and to have you in our studios here in D.C. And when the second album comes out, please come back and join us again. We'd love to have you back. Jessica Hernandez and the Deltas, thank you guys for coming on the show.
Thank you so much.
I'm Larry London, and this is Border Crossings on VOA TV.